Okay, so in today's class we are going to understand how to answer paper 1 question 3 extended response to reading. Alright, before we start with this particular question, understanding what to answer, let's first understand examiner's expectations. So I have listed on my screen examiner's expectations. So first is there are 3 objectives that you cover in reading. So the total marks for this particular question is for 25. 15 plus 10. 25 marks question. You have approximately 20 minutes to solve this question at the most. And so you have to demonstrate the understanding of explicit meaning of the text. So you will be asked to read a text. First thing you are going to highlight is explicit meaning. What are explicit meanings? Which gives direct understanding of what exactly the writer is trying to say. And implicit is indirect way of saying certain things. That is your implicit meaning. So you have to identify explicit and implicit meanings. And attitudes. When I say attitudes, that means the tone, the register, the voice of the writer or the character that the writer is trying to portray in the text. Analyze, evaluate and develop facts, ideas and opinion. Now here comes your own words, your personal response part, wherein you you analyze and evaluate the facts, ideas, opinions and use it in your answer to support whatever you are writing. That is the reading part. That is what you're assessed for 15 marks. The next part of assessment is articulate, experience and express what is thought, felt and imagined. Please make a note of this in your notebooks, because while we are going through the text, that which is next, I will be asking you to highlight what are the thoughts, what are the feelings and what is the imagination or what are the emotions in the text. Second, organize and structure. So there is a specific format. We organize the idea and opinions for deliberate effect. Now this depends upon the tone that you are expected to write in. For example, if you are writing an article for students, your tone should be a little bit casual. You should use the Gen Z vocab, and most importantly you should use your own words. Please do not invent anything new. Use things from the text itself in your own words. I have seen a lot of students write something, of course it's relevant to what is the concept or the idea of the text, but it is completely invented new. They give out something else beyond the text. You are not expected to do that. You are expected to write your understanding, to describe what you feel, what you have understood, and don't invent anything new. Use a range of vocab, sentence structures. Preferably use compound or complex sentences in your answer, which will help to show your advanced level vocab to the examiner. This is very, very important. So use either complex or compound sentences. If you haven't watched that particular lesson yet, please go back and revise. Also revise the concept of comma splice. I have taught that in one of the lesson, how to structure your sentences. So use it in this particular question. Okay, make accurate use of spellings, punctuation and grammar. Goes without saying, you're writing an English paper, you have to do the same. Now, we are going to move to the question. Before you read the question, you have to take care of 2 important points. First, you will be highlighting the perspective from the question. You will be highlighting the audience you are addressing. And you will be highlighting the purpose of your question. 3 important things. Please make a note of it in your notebooks. Whenever you answer question number 3 in first language English paper 1, you have to first identify, before you even read the question, perspective, audience, purpose. I call it as PAP, P-A-P, perspective, audience, purpose. And secondly, instead of writing use, I will write strictly. Use bullet points to help plan the content for the answer. Please do not go beyond the bullet points given. Please use those bullet points only. Simple as that. Okay, now let's move on to the question. Alright, so this is the question. Our question says that you are a journalist writing for a teenage magazine some years after the events described in the text. Okay, so you are writing in future. That's what we get to know. You are writing for purpose. You are what we have to identify: perspective, audience and purpose. So your perspective is you are a journalist. Your audience are your teenagers, and very important thing over here is purpose. You are writing in future after the event described in the text. You decide to write a feature article. When I say feature article, it's the highlighted article of any magazine about Audrey Sutherland and her first attempt to paddle Alaska. Okay, so this is all given in the text, so we have to pick it up from the text. In your article, now here they have specified 3 points that you have to write about. First, the opinion and the reactions of other people to Audrey's plan to paddle Alaska for the first time, and what was remarkable about the journey. So if you notice, there are 2 things in this question. One, you have to talk about the opinion, and 2, you have to talk about what was remarkable about the journey. Second point, the preparation she made for the first Alaskan journey and why these preparations were necessary. So again, point number 1, point number 2 in the second bullet point. 3, why she wanted to paddle Alaska and the rewards of the trip. So point number 1 and point number 2. So technically, if you see in each bullet point, you are supposed to answer 2 questions. So accordingly, you will pick implicit as well as explicit text from the explicit ideas from the text. Base your article on what you have read only in text C. You will be given text A and B as well for the other questions, but this particular question is dedicated or is focused only on text C. So please do not use ideas from text A or text B just because you have read it. Please focus only and only on text C. But be careful to use your own words. Of course, that goes without saying. You have to use your own words for this particular question and answer each of these 3 bullet points. Your answer should be around 250 to 350 words, and 15 marks for the content and 10 marks for the quality of your writing. This is what you are supposed to do in this particular question. Alright.